Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by the REC Toycast. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me, as always,
Erik Icarus.
Oh, man, I ran out of breath towards the end of that for some reason. You can follow us on Instagram at REC Podcast. You can follow myself at Roman REC Podcast. And if you look in the avocado section at the supermarket, you will find Erik touching all of them without buying.
And you can follow me into the bedroom.
Oh, jeez. This is going to be that kind of night, kids. Erik.
Yes, sir.
I did see some interesting stuff that just keeps pertaining to what we talk about, it seems like frequently now.
Hey, man, if it's pertinent, I want to talk about it.
Yeah,
so,
I guess.
It's all good.
I guess. Well, we mentioned this a little recently, but more and more prominent people from the Justice League film universe are calling for the Snyder Cut. They're going out in the streets.
They're taking it to the streets,
They're taking it to the streets. Gal Gadot posted it. Jason Momoa. But Jason Momoa's picture was cool. It's literally a picture of him skewering Steppenwolf. Like with it, which is not in the movie.
Right.
Is like a black and white picture of that. And I was like, oh, that kind of piqued my interest.
Right, that goes back to what we were saying. It's like, if you're giving us something legit new, we haven't seen it, I'm kind of for it.
Yes.
Not just swapping color palettes.
Yeah, there was a friend of the show, Jordan, sent me a tweet from a guy who's like a close friend of Zack Snyder. I don't remember his name. It was nothing that was familiar to me. But he was basically saying that he's never watched Justice League, and he won't watch it because the real movie isn't out. # release a Snyder Cut.
Oh, wow.
And Zack Snyder tweeted about it.
You did?
Yeah, Zack Snyder did, and Ben Affleck all tweeted about it. So, like, in the last, 12 days, we've had half the cast and the director talk about it. And we've talked about our issues. We had a whole episode 54.
Yeah.
Who cares about the Snyder Cut? Go in the back.
Apparently, a lot of people do.
A lot of people do. Here, we've already talked at great lengths about it. Here's the big issue. I don't want to pay for it.
Me either.
Okay, so
yeah, I don't either.
If this is supposed to be some superior film to the thing that you released that we had to purchase, I'm not buying this.
Yeah.
You gotta do something. Release it in the theater, and I'll go check it out again.
Right.
Don't put it out on Blu-ray and make me buy it.
Yeah.
I guess I can digitally watch it. However,
sure.
But I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense why a company wouldn't release the best version of something they made.
Sure, but the problem with that is best, worst. Those terms are subjective when it comes to studio suits.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought they released the best possible product, and 9 times out of 10, those people are wrong.
Yeah.
So who knows what they're going to release?
Yeah.
So maybe it is going to be really good. It's like you said. It's like maybe that is like the best, one of the best movies we've never seen, and maybe the studio's a little scared to release it, like because they're like, oh, it'll look like we don't know what we're doing.
No, if it comes out and it's awesome, I'm calling for the heads of the people who kept it from us.
Sure.
And
that's why they won't release it, maybe.
I mean, it's very possible. My concern is that it is good, and we're not going to get any more movies.
Sure.
There's no way in hell they release it on Blu-ray digital download, and it's not going to make the money.
No.
And then from that buzz, you're not going to. I don't know. It would be the first of its kind to do something like that and then succeed. There's just no way.
It would be the first movie to have a crappy theatrical run and then get a second life from this other cut, and then kickstart the universe again.
Yeah, it would be bananas. But man, if it's good, like, oh god, it's going to be so crazy. I just don't know. How it could be, but. It's just.
But even seeing that picture you said with the Aquaman skewering Steppenwolf, that's arguably cooler than anything in that fight we saw.
Yeah,
in that movie.
That image became at least top 3 best things about that movie. If real, you know what I mean? Like that's already in contention for the best moment of that film. So, in other news, woe is me. Woe are the angels that weep from heaven. Charlie's Angels domestic opening was subpar isn't subpar enough. Less than $9 million domestically.
Let's call it abysmal.
And that is just too bad. While not, anything amazing, definitely an enjoyable popcorn movie.
Sure. Like you said, he was a solid B grade movie. Like it was a good action romp. Probably had some nice kind of thought-provoking ideas in there. I mean, you said everyone in the cast hit a home run as far as acting. Like, no one did a bad job.
Yeah, I wasn't bothered by anybody, really. So, and it's just too bad because, as I spoke in the previous episode, girl power aplenty. It was, I don't know, I thought it was a strong female film, and I would have watched another one. This is going to be another one that it just kind of falls the wayside. The screenplay writer and director and co-star, Elizabeth Banks, kind of... Again, this ties into something that we've talked about recently too, but she was basically saying that if it doesn't perform properly, she blames comic book movies.
Right.
And she seemed half serious about it, but she did, say that if it's not a comic book movie, like, people just aren't going.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what you say to that. I don't... same thing to Scorsese and all that. I don't know what you say to that because it's like, the trailer did not look good for this movie.
No, it did.
It did not. And,
no.
And I did not really want to see it other than the fact of the title.
Sure.
And,
considering like you said, we've said this, you enjoyed the previous Charlie's Angel movies.
Yeah.
So,
the McG-verse.
The McG-verse.
And it's just too bad because it's not like it's going to have a banger second weekend or anything like that.
No.
It's just like, this is it.
That's the biggest push.
It's going to be a net loss. We're not going to get a universe, and it's just too bad.
I agree. And to your point, Elizabeth Banks. Okay, so Scorsese and some other legends in the business say they kind of talk smack about the comic book movies. I feel like they, in a way, have earned that.
Yeah,
but it makes him sound ignorant.
It does.
And Elizabeth Banks here, I think you can't go... I almost feel like I'm losing a little respect for her for saying that, even if she is halfway joking.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, you can't blame all your follies on something that's popular.
It'd be one thing if
you... bring it harder, man.
Yeah, if you open Charlie's Angels the week that Avengers comes out...
Then sure, I get that.
Yeah,
sure.
Then that's exactly why nobody watched the movie.
Right.
Because they were watching... Which would have been funny because... I bet you if you release Charlie's Angels against Avengers Endgame, it makes more money because of the people you have to turn away. And they're like, well, I guess we'll go watch Charlie's Angels.
Yep.
I bet you would have made more money. That'd be so crazy. Like, there might be like a strategy there. Like, if you have a movie that's like kind of niche, but like is a enjoyable film.
Sure.
Like, you could you're that, whatever those fish are that like hang on to the sharks.
Oh, yeah.
They like clean them up and the shark doesn't eat them. They like take care of each other. Like, there might be a strategy in the future.
Yeah, I can see that.
Studio heads, check this stuff out. I'm just dropping knowledge on you. But it got this type of thing, again, recency in our shows.
Right.
Stuff like Terminator, Charlie's Angels,
Alien, Predator.
There's a lot of these franchises that are just being put beyond the back burner.
Right.
They're not even on the stove.
Yeah, they're just gone.
They're not even in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So we've got a few that we want to talk about that it's...
Recent. These are the recent ones that have just kind of...
Yes.
That had maybe had potential, but then just kind of fizzled.
Yeah. So Charlie's Angels we start with, and I don't know, I couldn't tell you what the actual issue is.
Sure.
But the fact that you got somebody, and it's not, I don't know if it's Kristen Stewart's fault or not, but this is just somebody that, I don't know anybody who likes her as an actress.
Or as a person.
I don't know anybody who knows her. So, I don't know anybody who likes this chick as a
performer.
As a performer.
Sure.
But she was on SNL a couple weekends ago.
Right.
She had, I would say, right down the middle, really good skits and really ones where it's like she didn't realize where she was. You know what I mean? Then some relative unknowns. Elizabeth Banks, it's chock full of
then you got some awesome supporting cast.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart, you said was in there.
Yeah.
And then our man Jaimin Hansu was
Jaimin Hansu, bro. God, man, we've gone a long time without talking about Jaimin Hansu.
Tell me about it.
So it's nice to have him back there. And I figure you put Jaimin Hansu in a movie,
it's money.
That's a movie. Yeah,
baby.
yeah. That's the Black American Express. It's accepted everywhere. All right, but alas, not going in the way. And
I think it's because it didn't get a push.
it didn't get a good push.
No.
The marketing wasn't strong for
There
it.
you go.
I don't think there was enough action in the trailer.
Right.
If you're trying to get, again, you're not trying to get the old Charlie's Angels fans. You're trying to get new Charlie's Angels fans. So who's your audience? Because
tween age girls.
Okay, there you go. Tween age girls.
And people who maybe did enjoy the older movies. There are people that like them.
Your plan was to try to get new people, and just the trailer's weak.
Yes,
all of the trailers were weak sauce.
The trailers were weak, and like I said, the marketing was next to nothing or awful.
Yeah,
and if Elizabeth Banks wanted to blame somebody, she should have blamed her marketing team.
Yeah,
because I didn't even know it came out until we came into prep for a show.
Yeah,
that I was like, oh, it came out.
Yeah. And again, guys, I enjoyed the film. So
sure.
it really bums me out that I'm not going to get to see more because I love universe building.
Yeah, you do.
I love it.
Sure.
And, some of the other films that we're going to talk about just kind of suffer from this. Just not, like, having aspirations and just not executing and not framing your project right.
There we go.
So something I know that you feel strongly about.
Yeah. Was the Dark Universe.
Yeah.
This was, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Universal was going to bring together all their classic movie monsters and create this cinematic universe. And Tom Cruise kicked it off with The Mummy.
Yeah.
And I believe Hugh Jackman was supposed to be part of it, right? Or
no.
Hugh Jackman.
I don't think. No, they're all they have was this.
I just remember there was a publicity still.
Yeah.
Of the people who were supposed to take over the reins or do other movies.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp was one of them. Javier Bardem was one of them. I'm sure there's other people. It was an Entertainment Weekly.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a Dark Universe publicity still.
Okay.
They weren't in costume or anything.
Yeah,
they were
just like this is the road.
Yeah, there you go.
This is the road.
Yeah, and so
they
had
saw that.
Yeah, Tom Cruise kicked it off with the with the Mummy.
Yeah.
And again, I guess that and also had allusions to the previous Mummy movies. From the 90s.
There was
correct?
one allusion to The Mummy and The Mummy Returns.
Okay.
And then in this film, like you said, we had Tom Cruise, but it wasn't like a Tom Cruise that we like.
Right.
It wasn't a very, again, just not a likable Tom Cruise. Very much for me, I didn't like the Jack Reacher movies. I didn't like Tom Cruise in those films.
Sure.
But normally Tom Cruise is just awesome in everything.
Oh, yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's awesome.
But I didn't care for the type of person that he was. His kind of like quasi love interest wasn't as interesting.
Sure.
And the female mummy
was it interesting?
Yeah, like visually, yes.
Sure.
Visually looked very cool. I like the idea of how they tried to incapacitate her with like the mercury or whatever.
Yeah.
There was some neat stuff in there. The best part is, and guys, we're going to talk a little spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
Russell Crowe.
Yes, I was going to say
Russell Crowe
that.
was the best part of that movie, like hands down.
Arguably, like the Q of that universe.
Yeah.
He plays
Dr. Jekyll.
Dr. Jekyll / Mr. Hyde, and it was that part had potential. You could tell there were some cool moments in there. Like, okay, I could see this going somewhere. Yeah. But again, I think it just fell under the weight of. We wanted Tom Cruise. The studio was like, okay, Tom Cruise, you're carrying this movie.
Yeah.
There's not really a good story here. We're relying on your charisma and your star power. Yeah. Carry this movie. Didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work. And it took the whole universe. It just crashed down around them.
Yeah, they did the one movie which was okay. And then they were just like, "Oh, okay, we can't do it."
Yeah, because it didn't do that good.
Yeah, they really screwed up, and it sucked because their blueprint sounded so interesting.
Sure. Wasn't there a previous movie? It was like that Dracula movie. It was supposed to have a loose tie into it. Correct?
Yeah, but there was nothing. Unless you said that, you'd never know.
Wouldn't know.
Yeah, you
correct.
Wouldn't know.
So I mean, it makes me sad because in that. Dr. Jekyll room, we see the creature from the Black Lagoon's hand, and
we do see the Book of Amun-Ra in there. Like there was some good things. It would have been a cool way, but you would have had to bring in Brendan Fraser at some point,
of course, which would have been great,
and have him not be super old.
Sure,
like there's more story to be told there. But
yeah, that is one that I'm a bit disappointed in because I was pretty excited for this.
Yeah.
And because I love all those Universal monsters, man. I was excited, but again, it just if this was the movie that was going to kickstart your franchise, it was already on its way out, man.
You can't start it modern.
No.
It was modern day.
No.
You can't do that. Like, we have to get there. Like,
Right.
your third or fourth movie in the franchise is modern, because then we can bring in these old creatures, or the, if I guess, the werewolf would have been a part, or, the werewolf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
Werewolf would have been a part of it.
Sure.
So you have not the original werewolf, but you see his offspring,
Sure.
or the people he's turned and
Sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there was a way to build it, and they just, it's all about that patience thing.
Yes.
Man. They were so
Yes.
excited to tell us what they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't.
They're that teenage
Plan it.
boy
Yeah.
on their first date.
Yeah.
They get a little too handsy.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
And
Jeff Goldblum.
And don't get me wrong, his date is into it.
Yeah.
Very into it. And he just
He goes too far.
He goes too far, and then he's got nothing to give after that.
Yeah.
And everyone is let down.
Yeah. It's begging a lot of questions, because in the next one we'll talk about the new Ghostbusters, the female-driven
the female
Ghostbusters.
one, yes.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yes, you did.
It's fine.
It's not bad. I don't hate it.
It's not bad.
It's fine.
But again, they were talking about, we're going to do the Ghost Corps. We're going to set up other ghost teams. You guys are going to, there's going to be other Ghostbusters.
You are leading the charge in this franchise.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I have all four of these comedians or whatever are amazing.
Yeah.
They're all great. They're all funny.
I'm not the biggest Leslie Jones fan, but I actually liked her in this.
She played her part. She's good. She's great. But I love Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig's great.
Arguably one of the best comedic actors out there today, man. And
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa
she's
McCarthy's awesome, and I feel like this suffered from a lack of identity.
Yeah.
Because the original Ghostbusters, that movie, everyone had their own little quirk and identity. Like Egon had his scientific guy. Over
Kate
the top.
McKinnon's Holtzman. That's my favorite character in the whole.
Right.
Maybe my second favorite character in all of the Ghostbusters.
Okay. But the other three, did they have defining personality traits?
No.
Like, did they have a Bill Murray? Did they have a Dan Aykroyd?
They didn't.
Even Ernie Hudson with his Streetwise cabbie. He had his own thing going, man. And I think this movie was relying too much on people who... maybe they were just going too close to the script and didn't let them improv.
Yeah.
That could have been a problem.
And then you have Chris Hemsworth really stealing the show. A side character that becomes, spoilers, the villain at the end.
Yes.
Basically, something that they fight.
Mm-hmm.
And, he ends up stealing the show.
Yeah.
But even before he was the villain, he was
still funny.
Yeah, just everything he was doing was super funny, playing that aloof character.
Yeah, that's one way to put it, I guess.
Yeah.
He's just dumb.
He's just dumb. He's pretty dumb, And it's just too bad, because I felt like the chemistry was there for the ladies.
Yeah, they all played off each other very well.
It just wasn't a strong story, and the ghosts looked bad.
Right.
And the thing is, they looked bad, but they looked expensive.
Right.
They spent money on these ghosts, and they just didn't look good.
Like, if you watch the original Ghostbusters from '84, like, Slimer still kind of holds up.
Dude, the library ghost is still scary.
Right?
The library ghost is still scary.
Yeah, and, the problem with this one, too, is I think they're, rewatching it kind of recently. I feel like the story was pretty chopped up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could tell, like, okay, well, where were they going with that? And I don't understand why they put that in there. And it's a bummer, because I'm with you. I was totally on board for this. I didn't care that they were women, to be honest with you. I was like, they're all funny.
Yeah.
If you're funny, then great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. But I don't know, man. I think it suffered. I hate to say it, but I think it suffered from the sexism angle. I think there was a lot of people out there, and men, that were like, oh, I'm not watching that. How dare you take these iconic roles from my favorite male comedians? Like, screw you.
Yeah.
But
well, the last leg in this discussion is the new Men in Black International.
Yeah.
Where we have Chris Hemsworth. We have a female lead. And I did not watch this movie. Did you?
No. God, no.
And it wasn't that I didn't want to. It's that when I tried to get to it, everybody said, don't go watch it.
Right.
That they did not enjoy it. So I can't speak to the plot of this, to Tessa Thompson, whom I love.
Yeah, she's great.
I can't speak to her performance or anything like that. But roughly 20 minutes into this discussion, there's a weird motif here where a prominent female has been added into, or is the full cast of these 4 franchises.
Right.
And is that... Because obviously it's not Hollywood being sexist, because they're casting it. They're doing it.
Right.
But audiences, and not just men, I think that there's to go back to Charlie's Angels, I don't, like you said, teenagers. Yes. Those are the ones that it looked like they were trying to market it to.
Sure.
So, when but the theater I watched it in was sold out.
Right.
It was sold out.
Yeah.
So, it's very strange, and I'd actually like to talk to people, I guess, off the record, because, like, why didn't you go watch Charlie's Angels?
Right.
Why didn't you go watch Ghostbusters? Why didn't you watch the Dark Universe thing?
Because why didn't you watch Men in Black?
Why didn't you watch Men in Black? Like, it's super, super strange that, just thinking about what Elizabeth Banks has to say, and...
I think I have a theory here.
Okay.
Well, maybe just for these, the last 3 we just talked about. The female-led ones.
Yeah.
For me, like you said, you're saying Hollywood isn't necessarily being sexist, but I think it's one of those things where they are kind of shoehorning in these female leads. Like, look how progressive we are.
Yeah.
And you have to be progressive too. You have to go watch these movies or you're a sexist. I think that might be part of it, because no one likes to be told what to do.
Yeah, totally.
And I think subconsciously, like, no, I don't want to watch this, but problem is, most of the, like, I can't speak to Men in Black, but I heard it was awful.
Yeah.
So if you can't back up your actor or your actors and actresses with a good script, it's gonna bomb. No matter what.
Oh, completely, because, the big complaint that I heard was that Chris Hemsworth was boring.
Sure.
Which, how could that... And that Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson didn't have any chemistry.
Which is
Which
odd.
we know that they do have chemistry.
Right.
So, Hollywood does keep shoehorning. They do keep trying to reinflate those balloons.
Sure.
And... It's too bad, because even friend of the show Casey Duke and I were talking the other day about Casey, yeah, Eric's crushing on Casey, and I don't know what to make of it.
Dude, I wish that guy was my father.
No, that's weird, especially since I said you were crushing on him. The Men in Black should have been this very big universe.
Oh yeah,
and it, like the first Pirates of the Caribbean, has not been able to recapture the magic of the first one.
No.
And, we had an interesting idea to, like, re-kickstart it. Let's go international. Let's go across the pond.
Right.
Fresh start.
Right.
And it just falls flat. So, okay, I guess to your point, maybe we need to be giving... We need to be... My mansplaining. The royal we need to be giving these leading ladies some original projects to do.
Right.
Some original...
Exactly, because it feels like... It's always going to seem... like your coattail riding off the success of these old white dudes or old Hollywood dudes that made this franchise. It's always going to seem that way, no matter what.
How many women are going to go watch Seth Rogen's Little Women?
That's a good point.
My God. So it's not, there's...
Oh my God. Or Ryan Reynolds' Joy Luck Club.
Exactly. Like, it's not... if you're gonna, you're taking these iconic things done by Will Smith, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Brendan Fraser, and you're like, hey guys, here are the shoes, fill them.
Right.
Get new people by doing something that they don't want to see done.
Right.
And it is bizarre.
It is an uphill battle that I wouldn't wish on anybody.
Yeah, it's. I think where Elizabeth Banks doesn't need to be putting her she doesn't need to be putting her effort into remaking Charlie's Angels. Although again, I really enjoyed it. Let's get one of her. She helped do those Pitch Perfect movies.
Sure, which were successful.
They're great. They're successful. They're super fun. Yeah, it was a cool way to acapella was big there for like 4 years because of it.
No, kidding.
There were TV shows and competitions and all that, and it was kind of an original idea.
Sure.
And I think that maybe we, Jordan Peele is doing by kind of redefining thriller horror films.
Oh, yeah.
Going outside of his comfort zone that was comedy. You know,
That's
maybe
what I'm saying. He's one of the only people that, and John Krasinski, his comedy kind of thing. But for Jordan Peele, he's dealing with the race thing and the comedic thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to do something completely different, and he's redefining it.
Yeah.
Almost.
So weird.
It's interesting, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and that I want more of that.
Yeah.
You know, okay, Charlie's Angels. It's a female-led film.
Yes.
So I felt like, okay, cool. See, I didn't know that she was the writer-director.
Yeah.
So I think that's a cool step in the right direction. You're
Yeah.
getting a female-led movie led by a female.
Yeah.
You know, cool. Let's do this right. So maybe that's why it played so well.
Yeah.
That's why it's as good as you say it is.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, she knew what she was writing. She knew what she wanted.
And I mean, she's good friends with James Gunn, and
Sure.
and you know, so she's been around and done like a lot of other like film stuff
Sure.
that she's been able to see the male side. Like I said, this movie Charlie's Angels was not like just overtly girl power.
Yeah.
It was really well thought out for the most part.
Sure.
And if anything didn't come across correctly, it was just not portrayed properly.
Right. They probably could have done a couple more takes, maybe.
Yeah,
or,
it even had a low key Mission Impossible vibe.
Good.
Like I'm really bummed we're not gonna get more.
No, you know,
I can't see a
really want
way.
to go watch this now
Yeah.
because you know I enjoyed the first two. They're fine. They're entertaining.
Good. Yes.
And that's if you're expecting something from movies, you're expecting too much.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like
all I want to be is entertained.
Entertained. That's it. If you're expecting more than entertainment, then you're crazy.
I just want to be entertained. If I'm moved, if I'm sad, if I'm happy,
right.
If
you're conjuring emotion, you're doing your job.
Yes.
You know, but if you're going in there with the thought of I'm gonna hate this, then why? Then why even go in there?
It's strange that we kind of accidentally stumbled on this like weird sexist thing. And it's not like some taboo statement.
You know, I don't think we're stumbling. We're just noticing patterns.
Yeah.
You know, and we're not trying to outright say this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, because Dark Universe is in there. Yeah. That movie sucked, but then female-led villain.
Yes. No. That was my thread that I found here.
Yeah.
And it didn't dawn on me until we started talking about it.
Yeah, and I always thought Tom Cruise was kind of a Streisand.
Yeah. Yes.
But I don't know, man. Again, I'm with you. I think there needs to be more original product, and that's what I said to the detractors of these MCU haters. Is like, if you don't like it, bring it.
Yeah.
Bring your own stuff.
Yeah.
If you have your foot in the door in Hollywood, and you have a voice to say, well, it's because of that.
Yeah.
Then do something about it. Be awesome. Write something good. And Jordan Peele is doing it.
And there is something to be said about brand recognition. Like,
sure.
The only reason... Now, if I would have saw this trailer for Charlie's Angels, and it wasn't called Charlie's Angels, there's no way I would have watched it.
Really?
Because I didn't like the trailer at all.
Okay.
So, there is something to be said about that.
Mm.
So, like, hey, I have this idea, very much like we assume the Joker movie is. Hey, I have this idea, I can't get it made. I need brand recognition.
Slap something on. Okay.
Slap the Joker on it.
Okay, man.
Slap... Charlie's Angels on it, because the only reason I watched this movie is because it was Charlie's Angels. So
wow,
there is something to be said for that.
Sure. That's interesting, then.
I'm not sure that we are in a position to right any wrongs or start any agendas.
No, but we can speculate, and as movie goers and aficionados, it's something we can talk about because it's something we've noticed, and I don't want to be the person that's on the side of this that is so ignorant and saying that, okay, it's because females are lesser thans. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of people out there that say that.
Yeah.
And it's awful.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect to, what are you trying to accomplish with
that?
Like, I get it if this movie just sucks because it sucks.
Yeah.
But don't blame the gender.
When we were talking about the premise of the show to my wife earlier,
yes.
And we were talking, I think she was picking up on
what we were doing.
Yeah, I think she was picking up on what it was getting to.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, why does a movie like Twilight and why does a movie
50 Shades of
Grey, why do those series get to finish and we won't get to finish this version of Charlie's Angels?
Right.
And this is a question that I'd like to leave with the audience.
There we go.
And something to think on.
Yeah.
Do women care as much about action?
No.
Or do they want... some forbidden love, some taboo subject, some type of gossip thing, and I'm not. Again, this isn't me trying to be a sexist thing.
No,
it's just that,
but it's generalizing because that's what we've seen.
It's so weird.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie.
It's very
You can't
true.
argue with math because you can make these claims because those movies are pretty bad, but they do have that taboo love story that you're talking about.
Sex in the City.
Yeah, boom.
You know, it's not action. It's something else.
Yeah. Which some of the writing in that's not awful. It's whatever.
I'd love to. We need to talk to. I think we need to talk to some women in our lives and ask them what kind of action movies they like, if they like any. Really, if they're just I like it because you like it. You know, I don't know. I'm very curious.
I am too.
It's
I think that
it's something to leave. I think it's something to leave you guys on today.
I like that, man.
Kids, that's our show for today. We accidentally got a little heavy, and that's all right.
That's good. No, that's great. I like when we do that.
What did you learn today?
I learned that I think these franchises had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, here are these big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
You have to bring new people in.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you fail.
Yeah.
That's it. Pressure's on. Boom.
Yeah.
So and maybe I'm a little more understanding to some of these movies that bomb now.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I realize that I am obviously very woke. I watched almost all of these movies, with the exception of Men in Black. I am the least sexist person in this room.
That's true. Yeah.
And I do.
I hate guys. So
I am very curious,
I hate dudes.
and I wonder what the focus groups are like.
That's the
like
question,
what are
man.
these things tracking in male to female? I don't
Yeah.
know. It's interesting. I'm feeling deep in thought about this one.
You know what? Real quick, I would like them to remake the dirty work version of Men in Black. Black Men in Black.
Oh Jesus!
Who like to with each other?
Yeah. Very obscure reference, kids.
Dirty work. Go watch it, kids.
You should. It's excellent. If you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a like. Leave us a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this.
Especially
this was a weird subject for us, and it just fell into our laps.
Mm-hmm.
Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere you can leave reviews. If there's something you'd like to talk about, or something you think that we should, or that we messed up on here, leave us a comment. DM us at REC Podcast on Instagram. I have been your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm still Erik Icarus.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will catch you next time.